this main, as is Jaystar. So both these guys are going to try and rebuild their armies. I do expect Jaystar to do more with these Arbiters. He's probably going to plan a recall very soon here. He's clearing out a mine from his 3 o'clock. Both players content to stay on their bases. It looks like Sadist is moving in towards the natural of Jaystar. He's caught his army out of position here, sieging up, and going to just walk right into this natural expansion if Jaystar cannot put up a sizable counterpunch. Looks like Jaystar is moving in here. Sadist scans. Jaystar does not have enough forces, and they're walking in a straight line, straight to their doom. A nice stasis, taking 4 tanks inside of it. At the same time, it looks like this attack is holding for now. I'm not sure who's going to win. It looks like the Speed Zealots might make the difference here. Vultures reinforcing, and Sadist still with a sizable number, pulling his Vultures back to fight this off. So looks like Jaystar a little bit of trouble at his natural. He's got some mines planted right there, and this Arbiter might go down, in fact, but a lot of these tanks have been stasis, so a very strong defense. He loses all of his Dragoons. He's going to have to reinforce with his gateways that he's using at his bottom right expansion, but I think right now Sadist has an opportunity to do a little bit of damage here.
Yeah, what a battle that was. Actually, that was a perfect time for a Sadist to go in and put up a contain here. We do see about the 11 o'clock position that Sadist is taking another expansion. So economically, Sadist is catching right back up in this battle. Unfortunately for him, he did lose a lot of those tanks. And as you still see, this Observer is still sitting outside the natural expansion of Sadist's base, and that is really hurting him, really. I mean, Jaystar knows exactly when his opponent has been pushing out this whole time, and he really needs to notice that little blur on the screen and lay it out. Obviously, these aren't pro gamers, although sometimes I think they are very close to it. But he needs to notice that Observer and try to lay it out. And that would really help, because then he wouldn't know when he's pushing out, basically. So SCV is going to transfer up to the top position here. And I like what you said. I do actually expect a recall here. Usually you see some stasis, and that's the thing in PvT. Often a question asked is, why do the Protoss get stasis, or why do they go for the recall first? Like, which one do they research first? Often you'll see in PvT, you'll see the Protoss go for the stasis if the Terran is running off of 1 or 2 bases, or even 3, and then they'll go for the recall if they're running off 4 or 5 bases or whatever. So if you're going to go early stasis, or if you're going to go early Arbiters off like 2 bases, then it's probably recommended that you do go for the stasis over the recall. Coming in here with a little push you're going to try, but there is goons to deny this. He does have a lot of High Templars camping by the 3 o'clock expansion. High Templars are the key in PvT with the appropriate storms, and once again he's expanding to the 12 o'clock expansion. So really, economically, Jaystar better catch back up, because Sadist is taking the lead in the economy, is ahead of expansions right now, and with the drops storming everything, although there's not too much to storm. Goliaths and tanks falling here, but yeah, so really having to rely on the storm. He just doesn't have the units right now. He is reinforcing quickly. His army is pumping. He has loads of gateways here, as you see, and loads of gateways here, so he is pumping as quickly as he can. More vultures coming in for harassment, but this time Jaystar is prepared. Jaystar not going to fall for the vulture harassment once more.
Yeah, I just want to mention before this battle hits that Sadist a couple minutes ago did drop the 3 o'clock main with a few Goliaths and Vultures, and he did a little bit of economic harass up there. But that's neither here nor there. We got a big battle going on in the middle here. A lot of Dragoons getting hit by tanks here, but the Speed Zealots just pushing their way through, going to take out quite a few tanks, and I think this is going to get broken up. There's mines all over the place, but it's not enough to stop Jaystar from defeating this. In the meantime, Sadist has just sniped the 3 o'clock natural nexus with 2 tanks. Very nice play there. So a very worthwhile attack, I feel, if he can just continue to harass these expansions and let his economy roll in. Oh, hold that thought. Up at the top, a recall hitting one of Sadist's expansions here. This command center is going to go down over at the 12 o'clock position. So nice counterpunch from Jaystar, trading expansion for expansion. But right now, I feel like he's playing catch-up, because Sadist is doing a very good job of keeping his base count high and keeping some position in the middle of the map with all these mines. So looks like this army, backed by the Arbiter, will go down eventually. Sadist is going to defend his expansion up at the top. At the same time, I feel that Jaystar needs to get his 3 o'clock natural expansion back online and continue to use this Arbiter play and try and keep Sadist on the defensive.
Yeah, and once again, sorry for the clicking. I'm trying to do both. It is hard. I often notice when I'm commentating, I'm not clicking as much. But anyways, um, yes, actually, that could have been a more effective recall. He kind of recalled in the wrong position after all. Lots and lots of high templars. Vulture's going to come in here, and if those vultures can pick off some high templars, I think they did get one or two. But really, loads and loads of high templars. He has almost more high templars than zealots in ways. But yeah, just going to lose that army in the top right. Unfortunately, he did a recall. I don't think he knew about the 11 o'clock expansion because basically he wiped off a command center, but at the cost of losing almost his whole entire army from that recall. So yeah, Jaystar not in a great situation here. Maybe some recalls, laying out the tech, dropping here, laying out some supply depots, laying out the upgrades could possibly get him back into this. But right now it's up to Jaystar to come back and really Sadist is really, really controlling the middle of the map. We do see a battle going on here. He's going to come in here. Zealots flooding the scene. Lots and lots of speed Zealots. Sorry, I'm coughing. But Zealots coming in here, going to lay out these rest of these tanks, and more tanks going down. So as much as Jaystar's economy is suffering, his really, really is doing a nice job of keeping his opponent's tank count down. More storms going all over the place. Seriously, it is like, this is like the biggest thunderstorm that has ever hit the United States. And these players aren't even from the U.S., so why'd I say that? Anyways, laying out these mines with these Zealots, pushing in from here. So actually really, really nicely done from both players here. But actually, Jaystar comfortably coming back, I feel, laying out a lot of the tanks as much as Sadist does have the economy lead, he is actually suffering. His army there really isn't one. His army is really suffering. He does have some tanks at the 3 o'clock or the 11 o'clock expansion protecting that, but losing a lot of tanks. So economy wise, he is winning, but in unit production and who has the seizable force, it is definitely going to Jaystar.
Yeah, it looks like Sadist has been a little spread out with his army throughout this game, and I think if he can just consolidate his forces a little bit, he'll be able to do a little bit more damage here. It looks like he's mining up outside of the natural of Jaystar. He is ahead on upgrades. Jaystar only with 2 armor and 1 attack here. So Sadist moving around with these vultures, continuing to mine up the map. He's trying to keep a bead on Jaystar's army, which is not that big right now. Sadist scans it. Looks like Jaystar has stopped production of Arbiters, and these vultures going to sneak in at the 3 o'clock main right now. If he can kill this cannon, he will get a lot of probe kills, and that's going to be a big deal. I think Sadist's plan in this game is just to starve out Jaystar at this point. Sadist has a majority of the map right now, and he's really just trying to be a pest and keep Jaystar from doing anything significant to stay in the game. This vulture harass is going to get cleaned up. So in the meantime, let's see. Sadist has his factory still producing here, and Jaystar is doing a very good job of keeping his economy low. Looks like he's going to take the mineral only up near the top right, and he has not taken the bottom left island near his base. In the meantime, Sadist is retaking the expansion that was killed by that recall just a few minutes ago. Jaystar is going to push up at the 12 o'clock natural expansion here. There's only 3 tanks in the Goliath defending. Jaystar just walks right through those spider mines. He's going to go right for the tanks. Sadist moving back, Sadist defending with his science vessel and the rest of his forces. Nice psionic storm just going all over those tanks there, and he's going to lose all of those tanks. That science vessel might go down here. More psionic storm. So Jaystar managing his army really well, very well. Sadist is forced to move his SCVs, and they're just getting slaughtered right now by dragoons. Just this is an SCV marathon.